I'll do it. It's my only thing I do.
Let me do the intro and I'll ask the questions.
Yeah, exactly. Don't twist on me now. I've organized this for a reason. Welcome to a TMB Q&A. This episode is part 1 of the most common questions we get asked from buyers. I'm Michael Thorne of Remax Lifestyles Realty and the Thorne Maisie Bongers Real Estate Group in Langley, BC. I'll be asking the questions today, and answering them are my amazing business partners, Jordan Maisie and Trisha Bongers. Are you ready?
No.
All right. Questions asked by buyers. How do I look for a home?
Well, you hire a realtor. That's how you look for a home. Specifically, in all honesty, we have access to so many tools that allows us to go through and see how long a property's been on the market, where it's located, and a lot of history on that property, and we can organize it.
So it really starts with sitting down, talking about the buyer's criteria, doing the search, and trying to find those matches for them.
Absolutely.
How many houses should I view before purchasing one?
That'll depend. Market conditions have a lot to say with that. Your desires and haves and wants, depending on how narrowed down they might be, as well as how great your parameters might be. You may not have a very narrow area that you want to live in. You might say it could be this big.
When we sit down and we go through and we ask questions about what is it that you're looking for, what are your needs, what are your wants, and we really sit and listen to what your expectations are, we can really narrow down a search. And sometimes we can go out once and we have clients that write on a property, and sometimes it takes a little bit longer depending on what kind of market you're in or the condition of the properties that we go and look at. There's lots of factors that come into play, but yeah, sometimes it's 1, sometimes it's 10, 20.
How long does it take to buy a home?
Finding it may not take that long. There may be a lot to look at, and we narrow it down to, a couple of showings going back if we have the privilege of a second showing, and then writing that offer and getting it accepted, your process of how many days we get to remove your due diligence, all your homework and your called subjects. And then depending on when you negotiate your completion date and your possession date with that seller, that will vary. It can be anywhere as short as it's vacant and you get in like within 3 weeks, or it could be as long as 2.5 months.
Is there a best time of year, price-wise, to buy a home?
Ooh. I've always said fall, late fall, like almost into Christmas. That has always been my biggest thing. I've had a few clients over the years, and they're like, should we wait till January or buy now? And I was like, do it now. Yeah. And then sure enough, in January, February, it just skyrocketed. With our markets.
How long can a seller take to respond to my offer?
Well, legally they have as long as they want. Depending on how the offer is written, we tighten that up.
We give them a certain amount of time to respond, and that could be, depending on when we write it, the same day, or it could be the next day. It could be a seller that's out of town and they need more time to be able to communicate that message. But yeah, usually we ask for the same day.
How do I know if the property I'm buying is a good deal?
Well, that comes down to the product itself, reviewing what properties have sold for, but every product or every home is going to be a little bit different.
Does it meet your needs? Does it fit all of your expectations going into it? How long are you going to stay there? What's your motivation for buying it? There's a lot of factors that come into that.
It really, really will depend on that moment, that time frame, and comparables in the neighborhood.
That brings us to the end of this episode of TMB Q&A, answering some of the most frequently asked questions we get from buyers. If you have a question you'd like us to answer, you can put it into the comments section or send it to us at hello@tmbrealestate.com. Answering the questions today was the generous Jordan Maisie and the creative Trisha Bongers. I'm Michael Thorne. We'll see you in the next one. And remember, if you've got real estate questions, you've got answers.